When war came, Dorothy joined the Merchant Marine. Norma Jean became a worker in a defense plant. There, a flashbulb started the fairy tale. A swan among her plainer co-workers, she was chosen for a wartime publicity photograph, which found its way into a modeling agency.
Norma Jean looked like the girl next door, and I thought I could make her into something quite marketable in a short length of time. She was very beautiful in a clean-cut, American, wholesome way. Too plump, you would say.
Mrs. Emmeline Snively heads the Blue Book Model Agency, where Norma Jean underwent her first extensive alterations.
Magazine covers. We taught her photographic modeling, how to pose, how to handle your body, smile. She was always trying to lower her smile because she smiled too high, and that made her nose a little long. She had a different kind of knees than other girls. She couldn't just relax her knees and walk smoothly. But every time she'd take a step, her knees would go all the way back and make her bounce.
Eager, determined to learn, Norma Jean was quickly successful as a model. Her face and body, she was discovering, could be her ticket to the world. When Dorothy objected to her new career, she divorced him. Now she was free, 20, and on her way. In 1946, her appearance on 5 magazine covers in a month led to a beginner's contract at 20th Century Fox. Reluctantly, she traded her name for a new one, Marilyn Monroe.
I didn't have an opportunity to do anything, actually, during the year that I was there at 20th Century Fox the first time, except one part in Scudda Who Scudda Hey, and I was cut out of it. And then they dropped me.
She was thought of as a joke by many people. And I think this hurt her very deeply because she was very serious.
This is Harry Lipton, Marilyn's first motion picture agent.
10 o'clock at night, I told Marilyn when Fox had dropped her option, and her immediate reaction was the world had crashed around her ears and unhappiness and tears. And then, typical of Marilyn, she shook her head, set her jaw, and said, well, it really doesn't matter. After all, it's a case of supply and demand.
Undaunted, Marilyn made the rounds. Finally, at Columbia Studios, she read for a part and won the ingenue lead in the Quickie musical.
Ladies of the chorus, here to sing and dance for you. Our flirty, flirty eyes will wink in your direction. We will throw you all a kiss that's filled with sweet affection. Anyone can see I love you. Anyone can see I care. The way I hold your hand and smile in your direction tells the world my heart is filled with nothing but affection. Lock me in your arms forever. That's a place I want to be. So anyone can see that I belong to you and you belong to me.
With Ladies of the Chorus, Marilyn joined Hollywood's endless parade of movie starlets. Men about town whisked her from one nightclub to another, but Columbia dropped her. She bounced back in a one-joke walk-on in Love Happy with Groucho Marx. For the first time, she was the dumb, blonde sex pot, a role she never again would really escape.
Is there anything I can do for you? What a ridiculous statement.
Mr. Glenyon, I want you to help me.
I have a little sand left. What seems to be the trouble?
Some men are following me.
Really? I can't understand why.
Although her career was getting nowhere, Marilyn was winning important allies. Natasha Lytez, drama coach, was the first of a series of mentors. Johnny Hyde, agent and close friend, ultimately engineered her first major opportunity. Meanwhile, she was forced to take jobs on the edges of show business.
This is the first car I ever owned. I call her Cynthia. She's going to have the best care a car ever had. Put Royal Triton in Cynthia's little tummy.
Right, lady.
Cynthia will just love that Royal Triton.
It was during these hungry days that photographer Tom Kelly made the shots seen around the world. Marilyn's famed nude calendar.
When I first asked her to do it, why, she turned me down. But after thinking it over for a few days, why, she came back and said, I would like to do it. I think it was partially a favor. I had done her a favor once before, and she really did need the money. This is a negative of the calendar of Marilyn that sold 8 million copies. It just happened to be a darn good shot, but I give all the credit to her.
In 1949, Marilyn was still one step from oblivion. Then she played the kept girl in The Asphalt Jungle, a film that I directed. And a spark jumped between her and the audience. I remember she impressed me more off the screen than she did on. There was something touching and appealing about her. And this, of course, is what people finally saw on the screen. What moved them. Now, at quickening tempo, the noise began. The parades, the hoopla, the stunts. Fox rediscovered her, launched the star build-up. The Body Beautiful was on display. In the next 4 years, Marilyn acted, danced, and sang through 16 films of growing importance. Her role stayed the same, the dumb blonde. The viewers treated her as a freak, a backroom joke. But her rising popularity was reflected in a succession of awards.
And it's with honor and pride and pleasure I present this citation to you.
Thank you.
I'd like to present to you the Look Achievement Award as the most outstanding feminine newcomer of 1952.
Thank you, Lawrence.
And as Best Young Box Office Personality, Miss Marilyn Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Marilyn Monroe, the moviegoers of America voted you the most popular actress of the year. My congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Sims.
A showman's gimmick had turned a sidewalk into a pantheon of Hollywood's gods. Now, the Jane Russell, Norma Jean came back to Grauman's. Like the heroine of her own girlhood fantasy, Marilyn was accorded the immortality of wet cement. The hero was already immortal, Joe DiMaggio, baseball's retired Yankee clipper, whom Marilyn would always call my slugger. From a candlelit blind date in Hollywood, he'd pursued her to movie locations amid the breathless anticipation of gossip writers. DiMaggio wanted marriage. The days of grandstand glory behind him, he dreamed of settling down. Now he would discover that Marilyn's great days of acclaim were only beginning. Their wedding was an international event. Their honeymoon, which took them to Japan, began as a dash for privacy and became a series of welcoming riots. While DiMaggio stayed alone in Tokyo, Marilyn went on to entertain the troops in Korea. Waves of frenzied approval greeted her. It was, she said, like an embrace.
The highlight of my life was singing for the souls there. I stood out on an open stage and it was cold, but I swear I didn't feel a thing except good.
The diamonds are a best friend. A true lady friend. But it won't pay the rental on your house. young folks laugh, or have you at the automat? Men grow old, girls grow old, and we all lose our charms in the end. Haircut or hair shade, these runs don't lose their shade. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
In Hollywood, the quickening tempo of Marilyn's career would bring her the leading role in The 7-Year Itch. The arc lights of movie stardom would blank out the cozy, candlelit, home-cooked dinners DiMaggio wanted. For Marilyn, it would be easier to please the crowd. Marilyn's silent childhood plea had been, look at me, see me, I'm a person. Now everyone could see her, 4 stories high. It was a different person.
Oh, I think it's terrific. Very nice. Some girl.
I think it's very nice, but I'd rather it were me.
I said, what has Marilyn Monroe got that a million other women have and prefer not to show?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, it's pretty vulgar, if you ask me.
Joe DiMaggio, it was said, shared that opinion. After only 9 months, the marriage broke wide open before the masked microphones and cameras of the press corps, hastily summoned to the DiMaggio lawn by the Fox publicity chiefs. DiMaggio left any announcement to Marilyn, who in turn left the word to famed Hollywood counsel Jerry Giesler.
Miss Monroe will have nothing to say this morning. All I can say as her attorney is that this is what we would say with the conflict of careers. And as regrettable as it may be, it will have to be presented in the proper place at the proper time.
Marilyn was learning that public favor is a possessive and feline creature. Pet it, and it may purr. Deny it, and it may eat you up. It will invade the last chamber of privacy, treat anguish as a charade, demand a quote from the deathbed. Marilyn would again hear the roar of the animal.